Hey, QL crew. In our last lesson, we acknowledged that while we often can't control the stressors that show up, we can often control how we respond to them. In fact, sometimes we can even reduce them. Stress operates quietly, keeping us in a reactive cycle until we recognize and challenge it. Time management strategies like breaking tasks into manageable chunks, setting realistic goals, and learning to say no can help us feel more in control. Yeah, I hear you saying. But no, really, there's a reason list making is so effective. It's not just about staying organized, it's about chunking tasks into more doable steps. When stress feels overwhelming, try sorting it into four buckets: now, next, later, and not me. Now, what needs immediate attention? Next, what's coming up soon? Later, what can wait? And not me, what can be delegated or let go of? When we're stressed, asking for help can feel impossible, but that's usually when we need it the most. Let me share a real life, now, next, later, and sometimes not me moment. In February 2024, after a routine diagnostic screening, I got the phone call, the one that makes your stomach drop. We need you to come back for a second screening. That's all they could tell me. No details, no reassurance, just an appointment to schedule and 1,000 anxious thoughts crowding my brain. Meanwhile, life wasn't pausing for me to process. I was on a major work deadline, juggling family responsibilities, hello sandwich generation, job hunting because my contract was ending, and prepping for a big conference presentation. My head was spinning, but instead of spiraling, I shifted into now, next, later, and not me mode. Now, I let my boss know I needed a moment. I stepped outside. I walked around the block to slow my breathing. When I got back, I asked him when would not be a good time for me to schedule the follow up. Then I made the call to book the appointment. Next, on the drive home, I called a friend who's a cancer survivor and asked, what questions should I be prepared to ask at the screening? When I got home, my husband gave me a hug. We ordered takeout because that night I wasn't going to stress about cooking. Later, I decided not to tell my daughter or my parents anything yet because there really wasn't anything to tell. And adding their worry on top of mine wasn't going to help. I also avoided the Google rabbit hole of survival rates and treatment options until I had actual information. And I let my volunteer team know that I needed to step back from conference planning for the week and asked who could take over some of my responsibilities. Not me. I reminded myself that I did not have to do this alone. My husband, my friends, my colleagues, there were people who could and would help if I let them. Now, fortunately, the screening came back clear. But without this approach, I would have spent days trapped in panic, lost in worst case scenarios. Instead, I stayed present, took control of what I could, one step at a time. When stress hits, our instincts are fight or flight responses. They push us towards all or nothing thinking. But by breaking it down into now, next, later, and not me, it helps us stay grounded, focus our energy where it matters, and let go of what we don't need to carry, or at least put it down for the time being. Another powerful way to take control is through cognitive behavioral techniques, strategies that help us reframe our thoughts. Remember in Unit 2 when I shared that we taught our toddler to say, I'm having difficulty instead of I can't? That's a CBT technique. By shifting thoughts like I can't handle this to this is tough, but I can take it step by step, or by responding yes, but not now, or yes, but I'll need help with this part. We reclaim power over our stress responses. Last week, as I was juggling my coffee, my laptop, and a mental checklist of everything I needed to do, hubby asked, "Can you call the insurance company for a quote?" At that moment, my brain was already at capacity. I had back to back meetings, a mentoring session, a personal appointment, and thanks to poor Sunday planning, a grocery run before dinner. Instead of snapping or sighing, I took 3 in-out breaths and said, "Yes, but not today. I can do it on Monday." He nodded and went on with his morning. A little while later, he popped back in and said, "I'll call them on my lunch break." Just like that, stress offloaded. Small moments like this remind us we decide what gets our attention and when, and we can use time management and CBT techniques to take control, one choice at a time. In our Gather, Grow, and Let's Go lesson, I'll share how we can tie recognizing, responding, and reducing to stress to regain control.